Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call, Better Thyself segment. We are nowadays alive to the fact that all of us are living in a virtual imprisonment. It can be solitary confinement for some, it's social distancing for the other. But coronavirus has resulted in lockdown and quarantine. And as I put a story on my Facebook, you would see that in India, for example, 1,340 people out of a million are affected by lockdown. This lockdown, this virtual imprisonment is impacting each human being, each one of us, man, woman, child. But the most important impact is on the kids. How are they impacted and how to engage them? As a matter of fact, when the initial stages were there, kids must have been very happy. I remember whenever an order was there that you don't have to go to school, we used to be happy. But the second part that you don't have to go to school, but you've got to stay at home would be the dampening part. Staying at home is good. Who doesn't want to sleep for an extra hour every day? And all the students and the school would like to skip a period or two. But when that week turns into 4 weeks, into 6 weeks, into 8 weeks, and maybe with the potential of the whole academic year under stay at home orders, that happiness would turn into desperation. And many kids you talk to, their concern would be about socializing. They miss their school friends, their peers, their classmates, and they're tired of sitting with their parents and their siblings. And technology makes it easier to stay connected. They can talk on Skype, Facebook, Zoom, Reddit, Twitter, name it. But the personal human touch would still be missing. The daring that is there in the social interaction would not be there. And this in-person contact is more in countries like USA or Canada, especially the seniors. This is a time, for example, in North America, most school seniors are already gone through the college application process, and there all work comes to a stop. Not only that, it's a season for plays and the musical in the most high schools. And the students have long working hours, sometimes 6 hours a day, in addition to the regular school, but no longer so. This is the time when the high school students apply for the sports scholarship, and they are going to lose this year because there is no hope. And then some students are going to miss the prom. This is a time when the school graduation ceremonies take place, and the joy of wearing a cap and a gown and throwing the cap in the air, that's not going to be there. So all this combined with self-isolation, social distancing, uncertainty, create unprecedented stress and anxiety. And kids are no exception. As a matter of fact, they are more vulnerable, more prone to that. And this anxiety can present itself as a headache, as a stomach, as change in sleep, reduced energy, and so on. So, what do? You have to accept it. But then there's another danger which people don't talk about, and that is the physical abuse and the sexual abuse of the children. Homes are the worst possible place for children to be safe, especially girls. 90% of the child rapes take place in homes by uncles, cousins, even brothers, sisters, and sometimes parents. Let's call the spade a spade. All that talk of the filial relationship is humbug. 90%, 80 to 90% of the rapes and the sexual exploitation is done by the close relations. And when the children are at home, with no outlet, that this is an idle time for them to be exploited. As a matter of fact, according to a news report in USA, for example, Cook's Children's Hospital in Fort Worth reported several cases of physical abuse by the parents. The parents are also annoyed. They get angry and start beating the child. So that's the physical abuse. And then they are also suffering from the job loss, financial stress, alcoholism that increases child abuse. And then the sexual abuse. So it's an emotional abuse, it's a verbal abuse, it's a mental abuse. So the children are being mistreated everywhere. So what do we do? Well, there's a three-pronged approach in this stressful time. First is to ensure the child's physical needs, food, shelter, and healthcare is taken care of. Second is the social needs. Even in the time of lockdown, quarantine, isolation, and social distancing, it's important to build and strengthen connections with positivity in the family members and friends and the teachers. Thirdly, to empower the child to express his or her emotions and provide coping mechanism. It happens at least in India. Suppose a child has been abused, and there were a couple of cases we came to know. The father abused the daughters, raped them, and when the children went to the mother, she said, "Shh, don't talk about it. This will bring a bad name to the family." Bullshit. The father should have been horsewhipped, and the mother should have been the first to do it. But no, family honor. And in the name of family honor, brides are burnt, killed. So here, children are raped, sodomized, all in the name, and nobody talks about it because it's a family honor. And as one political leader said, well, it happens, boys will be boys. I'm definitely laughing. So we have got to protect the children. Now, how to do it? Engage them. I had earlier said last week, giving you 5 tricks how to make them read. Today I'm going to tell you how to engage those children. In the unpredictable times, you require mental strength, you need positive attitude and motivation. Until the parents have that, they cannot engage the children. When you're passing through the time of uncertainty or fear, it's a difficult task, but it's not impossible. So, what do we do? The first thing you can be to develop, as I said, interpersonal and intrapersonal relationship. In most of the countries, especially in the South Asian countries, to which I originally belong, interrelation may be possible, but interpersonal relation, you cannot even dream of that. Father always says, treats the child as somebody who is mentally deficient, forgetting that the child may be more intelligent and many times is more intelligent than the father. And he wants his dictates to be obeyed. I've heard, the parents saying, am I the father? Are you the father? And since I am the father, obey my order. Idiotic. The mom says, I'm your mother, carry out my orders. Foolish. You need intrapersonal relationship, accept the fact that the children are possibly more intelligent than you are. At least they're as intelligent as you. So, this is a time to utilize, enhance your interpersonal relationship within each other. Accept them as adults. Don't take them as children. Take them as adults, as your partners in life. Treat the children as equals, not as inferiors. And then you would see when each member of the family empathizes with the other, a sort of a paradigm would be built, and that paradigm would be the paradigm of unity, a paradigm of stability, a paradigm of trust. Most important. Children, if they have a sexual problem, don't go to their father or mother for that. They go to another child. And the other child is as ignorant as they are. So it's a blind leading the blind. So this is the time when you can share and care for each other. And that sharing and caring would give you insight into the child's needs and help you rectify. So let's come to the fact. Now the basic things to do. First, develop the child management skills in the children. Don't consider that Indian concept, chalta hai, it everything goes. What if it's a couple of minutes? No. The child must learn the time management now. Encourage your children to develop the whole day's routine for everyone. Let the child also make the time for the mother and the father. An emphasis on the daily routine with time for each activity for study, washing, eating, bathing, cooking, and playing should be there. And then not only the time is written down, but it's adhered to and make one child the monitor. When you make the child your monitor, he would have sense of superiority. He will develop confidence and say, "Hey mom, you didn't do it. Hey dad, this was the time for our storytelling. This is time for our dancing together. This is the time for our singing together. What the hell are you doing?" That would give him confidence, and that the child is going to need in the future life. So this is the time to develop this confidence and at the same time management skills. Then enhance the leadership qualities in the children at this time. You hardly meet your children in the working days. This is a heaven sent opportunity. Make use of it. Collect your children, let them discuss and decide, say example, the food menu for the next week. Encourage and help them to consider each. You might consider to be insignificant, but no, it's significant. So when you're discussing, for example, the menu, you can discuss each vegetable, the benefits of it, how it's grown. So it becomes a teaching session as well. Each item of the food. If you discuss all aspects of it, is a lesson in agriculture, is a lesson in science, is a lesson in geography. Because you can ask them where it's grown, from where it's imported. And so some economics as well. Nutrition, what are the calories, what are the ingredients, how much vitamin A, B, C, D, niacin, and others are there. So the variety of food. And this is just one example I'm giving you. You can multiply them as per your family needs. Third, host problem solving skills. This is a time when the child can be taught new games relating to his study material. For example, preparing acronyms. Prepare, I mean, say different words, make acronyms. First letter of each letter, make a new word. Memorizing a concept of science. Develop playway methods to learn the tables. In India, my wife and my sister-in-law, they were telling me yesterday, and I might have gone through that drill, but I don't remember it. That the last period used to be when all the children would stand up in a class and learn all the tables from 1 to 20 and then fractions and things like that. So is this is time for you to do that at home? And then develop these stories to so that they have interest in social sciences, they have the science interest in sciences, in history, and things like that, in physics. Fourth, develop self-study skills in the children. This is a time to tell children, okay, you study. Here's this, you study, and then we'll discuss it. Discussing a subject is much more important. Let the child study. Don't coach him. Tell him to go and read it. And then whatever you understand, you discuss with me and I'll discuss with you. And then help the children fill in the blanks, true and false statements, 2 or 3 pages at a time. Make them attempt work and then check their work. Most important. Don't only make them work, but you work yourself as well. Check it. Even if your child has not received the school books, They can pick up the school books in Kindle and everything and do it. And elder children teach the younger children. They are most important. So that will develop empathy and relationship between the siblings. And as I always talk of the five things, last time I talked of five tricks. Today, the fifth thing you can do, promote creative thinking. I've seen 80 to 85% or the 95% children don't have creative thinking. They remember by rote. They don't think and not creatively. So make creative thinking a family based activity. And the best way to do is say after dinner or after lunch, sit down, take up a situation and let each child tell a story about that incident. Let the father or the mother or the sibling tell a certain situation or create a certain situation and let the children make stories. That story session will stir up their curiosity, would agitate their mind, would be disruptionist in their stupid thinking and make them more creative. And situations can be given by the parents or by the children, as I said. Everybody gets an exact fixed amount of time to come up with the stories and to develop them further. To make it more interesting, you can use props in the family and make it as a sort of a drama. These ideas can be taken up individually for an hour each day. So 5 hours spent and for the good of the children. Can you think of a better way of engaging children? If you have some better way, I'll be happy to know it. But I tell you, if you follow these steps, your children would be much different than what they are. And you'll be happy for that. And in fact, you would appreciate that you have devoted some time to make your children human beings, thinking with clarity, with empathy, with confidence, with leadership, with creative skills. What more can you want? Think about it. Thank you.